May is National Speech Language Hearing Month, and as we move further into the spring, allergies can be a big factor affecting your hearing. Joining me tonight to discuss is Daniel Adams-Arman. He's a hearing instrument specialist at HearUSA in Ann Arbor. Thanks for joining me today, Daniel.
Nice to be here. Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, you as well. So what is the connection between allergies and hearing issues? Is it just inflammation or is something else going on?
It's mostly mucus on the inside of the eardrum. The final layer has a mucus lining. And as you get inflammation or you get allergies or get an allergic reaction, that mucus builds up and begins to sound like water, like you're under the water, or your eustachian tube will become blocked. So taking a allergy medicine or taking some water to thin that out will definitely help get that mucus out of there.
Now, is this a relatively severe reaction, or is this something that's pretty common for people who suffer from allergies?
Very common to have that. I just had a patient today that asked about that. And so that's a very common situation. If you already have hearing aids, you can adjust those hearing aids using your mask situation, or you can use what's called your space and treble to reduce, to kind of get through that process. But if you're not, if it's severe, or if you have a sudden loss, you don't want to stop. You want to take immediate action and call your doctor.
All right, so you mentioned kind of fluid buildup, and you also mentioned taking a medication. Are there certain over-the-counter allergy medications that work better than others for this kind of issue?
You always want to check with your doctor first before any medication, but over-the-counter or prescription medications that help dry up that mucus will definitely help it inside your ear also, besides all your nasal passages.
And what would you recommend to someone who's dealing with this? Should you see an allergist, or would it make more sense to go straight to an ENT?
Well, see your family doctor first. They might be able to give you something over the counter. If it becomes severe, see an ENT. But again, if it's something that's a sudden loss, you don't want to stop with that. You want to see your doctor right away, because there's things that they can do to treat that very quickly. But also just warm compresses on the ear, adding water to your diet definitely helps thin that mucus up.
All right, we mentioned it's National Speech Language Hearing Month. Do you think people pay enough attention to their hearing, their sense? Do you think people are taking good enough care of their hearing?
Great question. I think it's getting better and better. I think the myth or the cloak of darkness is kind of uncovering the hearing world. Eyeglasses used to be a medical device. Now they're a fashion statement. And I think the same thing with hearing. It's coming out of the darkness, and people are suffering in silence. And if you know somebody, find somebody to get some treatment. If you have hearing aids already and you're still not working well, see somebody. There's a lot of things that we can do, a lot of new technology out there to help you hear and get through life. And as we know, the biggest thing also is continued loss of sensation of sound leads to Alzheimer's, dementia, the shrinkage of the hippocampus over time. So always just having a hearing loss. If you do, wear your hearing aids, because it's just like doing a crossword puzzle for your brain.
Yeah, what are some of those early signs that you might be dealing with some hearing loss?
Some of those early signs is start to ask people and ask your friends, because we compensate so well as humans. Our eyes and our ears interact, and we can see a lot of things that we ask your friends. Do I ask myself? Do I ask people to repeat themselves? And if they do, just go get studied, go get tested. It's free. Most of the places are free in town. Just come on in, get tested, see if you have a loss. And if you do, then you can take a plan and make an action plan from that.
Yeah, and lastly, what does that test entail? Is it just those tests we all probably got as children in school where they're asking you if you can hear a beep, or is it more advanced than that these days?
A lot more today. So we're adding a lot of things. We're getting the beep, so we know the threshold. We're also getting bone conduction, so we know whether or not there's any problems with your ear bones or eardrum. We're also simulating hearing aids in the booth, so we know whether or not, with and without hearing aids, how well you do. Because some patients will come in here and we'll simulate hearing aids, and they'll be really horrible scores because they waited too long. Maybe they waited 20, 30 years to get hearing aids, and their brain begins to forget what words sound like. That's called phonemic regression.
All right, all fascinating, and a good reminder to just take care of your health. Daniel Adams-Arman with HearUSA. Thanks for joining us today. I appreciate your time.
Thank you for having us. Have a wonderful day.